Thank you, Chief. No, if you're able, please stand for a moment of silence. That was a moment of silence that was held this morning at the Police Services Board meeting attended by the Mayor of Toronto, the Police Chief, Jim Raymer, and of course other staffers brass from Toronto Police, mourning the loss of 48-year-old Andrew Hong, who was ambushed as he was eating lunch at a Tim Hortons in Mississauga on Monday. A lot of sadness, obviously, the police service in mourning, members of the public also paying their respects in their own way. Here's what the police chief had to say at that meeting.
Yes, thank you, Chair Hart. We've lost an outstanding member of the service, an outstanding individual in Andrew. We give our deepest condolences to his family, and our membership's going to work through it, and we will honor him appropriately in due course. And I really do want to thank the board for their support, and Mayor Tory and yourself for being with the members both last night and again this morning. And it's very, very helpful and much appreciated. Thank you.
Now, before the police chief attended that meeting, he was here at Traffic Services, which is where Constable Hong worked. His colleagues, of course, in shock, showing up to work today. The police chief attended this location with the mayor, along with John Reid, the president of the Police Association, obviously to show their support and tell the people that work here, who are obviously in shock, and it's not just police officers, but civilians, officers who work in traffic services and with parking forces, all in shock and dealing with the loss of somebody who has been described as a gentle giant. Here's what the acting superintendent had to say about what went on inside.
Yesterday that didn't happen, and it's shakes the confidence of these guys a little bit, just to see, because it reminded how vulnerable we are. But I will tell you, not one person in this building was late for work this morning. That's got to mean something. Not one person hesitated about putting their uniform on and coming down and getting back to business. I'm so very proud of each and every one of them. I can't tell you, it's like, it just makes my life easier knowing that I'm surrounded by that sort of pride that they have in the job.
Also here at Traffic Services, the Premier Doug Ford was here to lend his support to some of the officers on staff here working today. They, of course, heard what the chaplain on staff here described as words from the heart from the Premier.
A nice guy. Everybody liked him. Nobody had anything bad to say about him. He, like I say, he was a gentle giant, I think is the term that some people have already used. And I think it's something that, again, it makes it tougher because nobody disliked the man, right? And I think that will always make it more difficult for the fellow officers to deal with it. But of course, we think of his wife and children. That's the really sad part. Dad isn't coming home anymore.
Now, obviously, the flags here are at half-mast. There was also a dozen roses at the base of a Canadian flag just outside the entrance here at Traffic Services. The chaplain said that a gentle giant is how most people described Constable Hong, and that he was absolutely loved by all of his colleagues. No one had a bad thing to say about him. As for funeral services, he believes that there's a plan in place that could happen sometime, perhaps next Wednesday. For the Toronto Sun, I'm Scott Laurie.